Please.
3rd December before JR. Item 100.
Yes.
Well, that's all the filings which were made, the objections are clear, but some of it may not be on record already because.
Yes.
Your Lordship may consider there's at the outset, your Lordship has really speaking in my most humble submission, two courses of action that your Lordship may adopt in dealing with this injunction application. One course of action is whether your Lordship would consider passing an ad interim order today on the basis of the statements that are there. That's number one. Without really
ad interim today, well, I'll have to consider it. I'll also consider a 19(1)(a) demerit.
Yes, I'm what I mean to say is that allow me to clarify that we will argue on that aspect, and your Lordship will consider that on that basis. The other. If your Lordship chooses to adopt that course, I don't wish to deal with the conduct of D1 for the present, then on for that purpose. That may not be necessary.
That will be the final hearing.
Your Lordship will consider that at the stage of final hearing of this application.
Your amended, your application under 13(1) and 2.
Yes.
Look at your prayers.
Yes, ma'am.
It's now primarily defendant number 2 to 4.
Yes, ma'am. And to that extent, to aid your Lordship to enforce the order, defendant number 1.
No. If defendant number 1 is only a platform, because the platform or not, we'll decide at a later point of time.
That's right.
Now, I can advise, since they have been served,
yes,
restrain defendant number 2 to 4
yes,
from making such statements.
Yes.
If I am with you.
Yes.
That's the only thing I can do, considering and also after taking into account the 19(1) hours, whether this is beyond 19(1), not in the 19(1). Then I will have to. I will, of course, if they read the articles also to say whether they are born out of articles, they are not born out of articles.
Yes.
If they are not born out of articles, obviously they can't do it.
That's right.
So therefore, I can even to that extent ask them to take down those offending statements that are based on a few articles by defendant number 2 to 4,
yes,
since they are not here to make out their case.
The Lordship would pass that order again 2 to 4.
I have.
Yes.
Point is, I have to apply the mind to say whether those articles make out a case or not.
That's right.
If they do not make out a case, fine.
Yes, please.
If I find that there is something in the article by which this inference can be drawn, then no. That's why instead of passing straight away an order, I would rather read the caravan and what are the other articles?
Ken.
Ken.
I see that.
Read that and then see the statements and then see whether the prayer can be granted or not.
That's right. I see.
Okay.
Yes.
So therefore that exercise I will do.
Yes. So, just to place firstly, the statements.
Yes.
I have prepared a note, where I've captured each of the pages of from the record itself, along with the page number, and I've highlighted.
Have I done anything wrong to you, Siddhant?
No, I'm sorry.
You're bombarding me.
Sorry, I was only saying. I apologize. I only wanted to make sure that it's easier for your
It was only a lighter thing.
I'm sorry, because there's only aspect.
No, I must say he did come across like that.
Huh?
I must say he did come across like that. In all seriousness.
A bit of ragging from both of us. Yes.
This is the first time I'm at the receiving end in court. Mr. Mehta. Other than outside court was every day.
Yes.
Your Lordship sees, the first page, the first imputation that I'm asserting is that I have been asked, it has been alleged that I act at the behest of the Government of India and the Bharatiya Janata Party. Your Lordship sees, the highlighted portion. This is an extract from page 7 of the document. The news agency has been criticized for having served.
There's more to look.
Yes.
Because your highlighted portion is the offending portion in the document.
That's right.
In the page.
Yes.
Right. Now the basis of this is 7 and 8. If you look at 8,
that's right.
7 and 8. Now, if you look at 7 and 8, 7 is one Donati Praveen image makers caravan.
Yes. Yes.
And 8 is now. Do you have you filed these two
Yes, and
documents?
I have. And I
Which are the page numbers?
Lordship, only permit me to go through this note. I have a
Let's write it down.
yes, but I have a Your Lordship, don't bother with it. I have a separate note which will cover that also. So Your Lordship won't have to take any notes.
All right.
Yes, but I have tried to do that just to conclude.
All right.
Yes. So Your Lordship sees that that's the first statement that is made. The news agency has been criticized having served as a propaganda for the incumbent central government, distributing materials from a vast, please note, fake news websites and misreporting events. Thereafter, Your Lordship will see at the next page. This is at page 8 of the document. Your Lordship will see
There is one friendly advisor.
yes, sir. I'm sorry.
In this court, fine.
Yes, sir.
But never do this 2 kilometers away.
Oh, certainly. Certainly not.
Never do it 2 kilometers away. Because 2 kilometers away, if you do this,
Yes, sir.
you will get a ton of bricks. I mean, they'll come down on a ton of bricks like
I
this.
see that.
So never do that 2 kilometers away. Because 2 kilometers away, in that forum,
Yes, sir.
anything highlighted,
Yes, sir.
you will get it.
I only thought that
So,
maybe
no, no, I'm saying that here it's fine, but just to,
I'll keep that in
at
mind.
your stage,
Or not at any stage, but we should keep
no,
that in mind.
when you are addressing arguments 2 kilometers away, just don't do this.
I see that. But I was only attempting to so that I don't have to.
I am not doubting
Numbering,
your
yes.
bona fides. I am not doubting what you want to do.
Yes,
but the
Now that
friendly-
my friend has presented another opportunity, my lord, my friend is very selective in highlighting, I must say.
so just don't do that.
I said
that.
yes.
Yes, because like you're doing it here,
Yes.
you by chance do that and give it there,
Yes,
you will get it.
I see that.
Yes.
Your Lordship may only see mirrors at the second page mirrors. ANI do even closer to the government after Bharatiya Janata Party was elected in power in 2014. Effect have ranged from sympathetic covering of political campaigns by BJP to reporters being highly confrontational when dealing with politicians from opposition parties. Then if Your Lordship sees mirrors, the next page, I've been told that I'm spreading fake news. A primary aim of this fake news coverage was to discredit Pakistan in international forums. ANI is also believed to have played significant roles as allies. Please note as allies of the research and analysis wing of India's external agency. Many of its videos depicted.
Again, a really thing. I am not the Chief Justice of Delhi High Court. Huh?
As yet, my lord.
But be careful. Yes.
You can also be see, ANI is also believed to have played a significant role as allies of the research and analysis wing of the India's external agency. Many of its videos depicted protests by fringe lobby groups, activists, transparent human rights groups. ANI has been accused of misreporting facts certified by the Pointer Institute of Fact Checking. Then, if Your Lordship has mirrors, and the next page, once again, I don't wish to read it. The point basically is that if Your Lordship sees in later 2000s, increasing charges of ANI feed and low quality journals coupled with the introduction of broadcast ban led to several national regional unsubscribing. In fact, this is factually false. Factually, they have increased since then, and my turnover has increased since then. Then, if Your Lordship sees in 2020, an investigation by EU Disinformation Lab, which is not really an EU organization, but somebody who calls themselves EU Disinformation, concluded that ANI on multiple occasions published mostly anti-Pakistan and sometimes anti-China opinion pieces and news content, including opinion pieces falsely attributed to European politicians and other instances of disinformation. And then this material was known to have been sourced from vast group of pro-India fake news websites run by certain Srivastava. Now, if Your Lordship sees the last one is that I'm mistreating my employees. Under a new management, ANI has been accused of practicing an aggressive model of journalism focused and maximum revenue where journalists were easily dispensable. Multiple employees have accused ANI of not having human resource management system and ill-treating its ex-employees. But in fact, my employees have increased over time, year on year. So therefore, there's no question of that happening. Now, what happens is, there are some clarificatory edits that are taken out because what the defendant one seeks to propound is it's a free platform. It invites views from all, and therefore these some certain clarificatory edits were taken out, which are set out in the plaint itself. Your Lordship would have the amended plaint. At para 3 minutes.
Yes.
Your Lordship sees in the table, if your Lordship sees the right side column, these were edits that were made and which were removed.
During the minute date?
Yes. Para 3. There is no evidence of the network of ANIs linked to India's government network. Asian News International has over 500 employees. Asian News International grew their employee count by 10%. So and so and goes on. Now, the cause of action arose as a result of the removal of these and republication of the same statements. Your Lordship sees why the page is, as your Lordship is being informed, is constantly changing. These clarificatory edits for grand we may not have bothered because if this presents both sides of the view, a reader may get both sides. But these are removed, and the allegations that are there in column left, which are the left column, which I have read out to your Lordship's remain. Now, the question arose before your Lordship's that whether these are borne out by the Ken and Caravan article. Now, that's a test that D1 has adopted to itself for its platform. That's my most humble submission is not a test that binds your Lordship otherwise, or the test of single publication rule is slightly different. Assume, for a moment, and on a demurrer, that these statements are entirely a regurgitation of what was said in Caravan and Ken. Your Lordships in Khabar and others have held that ordinarily the single publication rule will apply. But the exception is twofold. The exception is if the nature of the publication is different, or that it is designed to reach a larger number of views or a different section of views. Both those cases are satisfied in this case plus factually. Firstly, those are publications made in newspapers or magazines, which are understood to be of opinion. Your Lordship sees that there is a difference between an India Today and a Britannica. India Today doesn't profess to be an encyclopedia. So the nature of publication in an encyclopedia, firstly, is completely entirely different from a publication in a news magazine, which may be considered to be a matter of opinion. That's number one. Number two, insofar as the exception is concerned, which is more objective in nature, this involves the subjective satisfaction of your Lordships, whether your Lordships consider it different. But my most humble submission is vastly different. And I've shown to your Lordships on previous occasions how there is a representation made to the public at large or the reader at large that this is a Wikipedia which can be considered to be a source of verifiable information. And your Lordship will also note one more fact. Wikipedia has been relied upon as a source by the Supreme Court in several judgments. And no less than Justice S.V. Sinha. So, your Lordship applies in defamation cases the idea of a reasonable person and a person of reasonable understanding. Even a person of marvelous understanding of Justice S.V. Sinha considered Wikipedia to be a source. So, the test that your Lordship applies is what will the reasonable person perceive? The judges of the Supreme Court of illustrious standing perceive Wikipedia to be an encyclopedia and a source of information, your Lordship must come to the conclusion that a reasonable person would do so as well. And therefore, it is held out as a statement of fact and not of opinion. Secondly, your Lordship will consider in Khabar, the second exception that is cast is whether there is a larger section or a different section of the audience that is sought to be reached by the second publication and therefore independently actionable. Your Lordship will note that Ken and Caravan, as a matter of fact, are behind paywalls, which means only subscribers can access to them. If you're a paid subscriber, you'll get access to them. As a matter of fact, it is undisputed that Wikipedia is free. They're openly accessible. And the views on Wikipedia by their own admission are in the millions. 979 million unique views. That is their own averment. Vastly different and vastly higher than the initial publication of Caravan or Ken. Because if your Lordship permits, I'll place that portion of cover will support this submission. If your Lordship permits, I'll do that now. Otherwise, I can come.
Questions.
We filed it. It's on your Lordship's record.
But I must apologize. One housekeeping issue my friend would also brought part last. But we had thought that we will place those documents on record. But
I pushed the matter by 2 days.
apostolization took some time. We ultimately got those affidavits last night and we immediately filed them. But it may not yet be on record.
It is not on record.
Yes, I must apologize to my friend and then to the court.
Started by saying that.
So we tried our best. But just that apostolization took some time. It's done. We filed the apostilled affidavits.
We filed it. No, give the hard copies.
I'll give you the hard copies. You got them?
And I plan to conclude it today. Yes.
Perfect. Absolutely.
My lord, if you may allow, can I mention item 75?